Okay, so today we are going to start with Symphytum officinale. Basically, Symphytum is the remedy for your fractures. Okay, if any type of fracture is there, especially mechanical injury, bone fractures are there, you can use this remedy, and I had got a great result with this remedy. I would rather say, if any fracture which need almost mm, 15 days or 21 days or 3 months, we don't know how much time for the that plaster will be there. Okay, it will reduce that time almost to the half. This remedy is really great remedy for your brain fractures, sorry, for your bone fractures. I'll again say sorry, sorry for this is remedy for your fractures. So this is your symphytum. This plant is completely look like this. Okay, I'll show zoom you. This is your flowers. These flowers are look like this. Its common name is also need bone. Okay, plant. Look at this. Can you see? You can see the screen, no? Wait. Okay, don't worry. I'll send you this PPT in a group. Okay, so you can see all the things. Okay. Uh, So common name is bone set, healing herb or comfort. So bone set is a common name for this remedy. Family is Boraginaceae, prepared with tincture of a fresh root stock collected before flowering and in autumn. So the fresh plant has been used for preparing a tincture. So Symphytum officinale acts as an inflammatory to promote healing and bruises, then sprains and open wood when applied topically. Okay, uh, just like your calendula, when externally application has been used specifically as an it act as anti-inflammatory to promote healing of a bruises healing can be happen. Sprain and open wound where it has been applied topically, it can be also you can use there. The roots and leaves of this plant contain the protein uh, allantoin, which stimulates cell proliferation and promote wound and bone healing. As I told you, this is the great remedy for a bone healing. The roots and leaves of these plants contain a protein. This allantoin protein which stimulate a cell proliferation. So when proliferation happens, at that time healing will takes place very automatically. Okay, so it promotes wound and bone healing. It is also ingested as a herbal tea uh, to treat gastric ulcer, rheumatic pain, arthritis, bronchitis, and colitis. So understand it. It has been used in also in a herbal tree. Okay, to treat gastric ulcer, rheumatic pains, arthritis, bronchitis, and colitis. So sphere of action, especially on joints, bone, and periosteum. This is really very short remedy, but it is most useful remedy in your cases of injury. Okay, especially accidental cases. I remember, I don't know how many you know about that. Whenever you get any accidental fracture, and if you are going to start with symphytum as early as possible, you can really cut short the time of healing. Okay. So clinically, it has been used for abscesses, then backache from sexual excesses, bone cancers or bone cancer especially, or injuries of bone injuries, breast when they are sore, eye pain in and injuries of eyes when eyes there is a lot of pain and injuries of eye, fracture when it is not get united properly, fracture non-union of glands are enlarged, gunshot wounds, hernia, menses arrested, periosteum, sensitive, painful, psoas abscess, psoas major, your muscles, abdomen muscles. Okay, when abscess are there, sexual excesses effects of sprains are there, stump irritable and wounds are there. Elements from fracture, injuries, falls, blows, and sexual excesses. Here we have seen the picture of fractures. Okay, So there are fractures, there are injuries, there are falls, blows, sexual excesses. All these elements from lead to a prescription of your symphytum. Keynotes: Symphytum may be considered to orthopedic specific herbal medicine, and it is really specific medicine for your bone pains. Okay, so Symphytum may be considered the orthopedic specific of herbal medicine. Symphytum facilitates union of fractured bone, that is calcarea force, by favoring production of callus. So, what is pathology, or how this pathogenesis taken place? Is facilitate union of fracture of bone by favoring production of callus formation. Callus formation is there, and which leads to healing of a fractures. Okay, it lessens the peculiar pricking pain of fracture of bone. It leads to peculiar pricking pain of fractures of bone, which lessens, which will relieve those pain, and it will really feel, that patient will really feel better. For periosteal pain after wounds have healed, or irritability at point of fracture, pain in eye after mechanical injuries, bruises, fall when snow strike the eye, or when infant thrust or it first into its mother's eye. Okay, pain in eye after mechanical injuries. There are pain in eye after mechanical injuries. Bruises are there. Falls when snow strike the eye. When infants thrust it first into the mother's eye. Okay, so this all a mechanical injuries. This is nothing but all mechanical injuries. When any mechanical injury is there, you can think about symptom first. Backache from excessive sexual indulgence with spermatorrhea. This is again remedy for spermatorrhea, but especially with the excessive sexual indulgence. The root contains crystalline solid that stimulate the growth of epithelium on ulcerated surface. Try to understand its power, especially we will say healing power. Okay, the root contains crystalline solid that stimulate the growth of epithelium on ulcerated surface. It may be administered internally in the treatment of gastric and duodenal injuries, tendons and periosteum. Neuralgia of knee pain. Symphytum is really great remedy for that. Of great use in wounds penetrating to perineum and bones, and non-union of fractures, irritable stump after amputations, irritable bone at point of fracture. You can use this remedy in a fractures. Okay, uh, just before 3 or 4 days back, I had a case of a clavicle fracture, and it was not united very properly. Okay, non-union of fracture was there, and which is going to need some surgical treatment for that to mobilize it very properly, so that then our symphytum will work, then callus formation will takes place, and then that we can say that healing will takes place. I'll send you that if I'm having that x-ray, I'll send you to, otherwise I will send similar x-ray from Google. Okay, there is psoas abscess, pricking pain and soreness of periosteum. Head, headache in occiput, on top of head, in forehead, changing places. There is headache, changing places is there. Pain comes down bone of nose. Pain comes down to bone of nose. Inflammation of inferior maxillary bone, the hard, red and swelling. Inflammation of inferior maxillary bone, which is become hard, red and swelling is there. Eye, pain in eye after knock or a contusions of opaque body after being struck upon eye with a fist by child. No visible injury, but sensation on closing eye, as if upper lid passes over an elevation of bulb of eye. On waking of eye, on waking eye could not be easily opened, seems to spasmodically close. Pain in eye after mechanical injury, bruises, fall when snow strike the eye. Everything related to this remedy is related to mechanical injury. When some struck upon the eye faced by child, or there is no visible injury, but patient feel that something uneasiness in the eye. When patient is try to awake, and patient is try to open his eye, at that time it will seem spasmodically closed. Ears, cannot hear well, feels as if ear were stopped up. Inflamed ear are there. Male sexual organ, testicles become painful and tender and prevent walking. This patient cannot walk very properly. Backache from excessive sexual indulgences with steatorrhea. And then neck and back, pain in back from fall from sexual excesses. Pott's disease from fall. Pott's disease is your tubercular spine. Huh? Pott disease is nothing but your tubercular spine. Due to tuberculosis, especially which is, yeah, I got it. Okay, so we are talking about the Pott's disease. Pott's disease, as I told you, it is nothing but a tuberculosis of your spine, vertebral. Which leads to, due to tuberculosis, you will say the tuberculosis vertebral bodies get really very, mm, you can say, weak, and due to fall, the vertebra will, there will be a fracture on a vertebra. That is your Pott's disease from fall. So sepsis are there, much used among herbalist in caries of spinal and other bones. Bones, symphytum facilitates union of fractured bone, calcarea forced by favoring production of callus. It lessens the peculiar pricking pain of fracture of bones. For periosteal pain after wound have healed or irritability at the point of fracture. Of great use in a wound penetrating to perineum and bone, and non-union fracture, irritable stump after amputations, irritable bone at point of fracture, pricking pain and soreness of periosteum. This remedy has been used after arnica for pricking pain and soreness of periosteum remaining after an injury. You can compare with the calcarea force injuries for arnica, and effects of sexual excesses again with arnica. You can antidote this remedy by cantharis. Injuries for remedy, we had talked about belly spur. Hypericum. Hypericum is again a remedy for injury where nerve path has been injured. Nerve injuries are there. Aconite. Aconite. This is fearful agitation after being injured. Okay. There is anxiety and panic attack due to injury. Arnica, you know everything about arnica. I had taught you a lot about arnica. Calcarea phos, again calcarea phos is remedy useful for bone bruises, old slow healing fractures, or any injury that leads to soreness in the bone, especially if the area is cold, numb, and improve with the warmth. The muscles are near the injury may aches or stiffen. Calendula, again the injury for disinfected cuts or burns or scrapes. Okay. Epicac is remedy for heavy bleeding after injury. Okay. Then ledum is for especially injuries from blunt object, or skin is really very thin, or where bruising from pointed object you are going to get. Okay. Then melifolium is remedy for contusion or sprain that involves small broken blood vessels and lead to bruises like bleeding beneath the skin. Suggests the use of this remedy. This is often also useful nosebleed after injury and for bleeding in other parts of body, for intense after childbirth or surgery. Melifolium is really great remedy for your menorrhagia also. Okay. Then phosphorus, when small wound bleed easily or person has tendency to bruise from minor injury. This remedy can be helpful. It is also useful in nosebleeds. Ruta, this remedy relieves the strained ligament and tendons. So this is all about our remedy for injuries and symphytum.